mic where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledged knowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one Chief Rock and Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. And welcome to the premier Knicks in the Nighttime joint, the Knicks at Night podcast. Salute to my brother from another, Corey Lee. Corey Lee in the place to be. Corey Lee says, yeah, I was just out on the other side. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, I was just out on the other side. Oh, man, my video acting up already. Yo, my audio, is my audio clear? Is my audio clear? Salute everybody. I'm not for sure why the video is going bonkers, but salute to Uptown Sports TV. That's my guy. Salute, stand on the grind, Hustle King. Man, Heck is in the building. Salute to Heck. Man, salute to Christy. What's good? Miguel P in the building. Man, look at, man, Brooklyn Butch is in the building. Fred Wong is in the building. Salute. All right. I see y'all. Mike Hansen in the building. Salute. Yeah, y'all. So I have I want to talk about Mitchell Robinson tonight. And I hope we don't turn this into a Knicks Universal Civil War for nothing. I want to talk about my guy Mitchell Robinson tonight, right? Because I think he is the key point in turning this series around, right? And I know some of y'all don't like Mitch. I don't care, right? I know some people don't like Mitch. I don't care, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about likes and dislikes or what do you call it? Favorites, whatever you want to call it. I'm not here to talk about that, man. I want to talk about stuff like the element of surprise, creating pick your poison scenarios, right? Lifting up the chemistry of our team, right? Filling in the gaps for people that's creating the gap. Like for whoever's slumping, can you find the guy to pick up for a guy that's slumping, right? A guy playing with his hair on fire because he know he only gonna play a little bit of minutes anyway, right? Being a fan favorite, and all of that, and most importantly, the most important thing is you gotta have depth in order to win a championship. So I'm gonna talk about those things as they pertain to Mitchell Robinson. Right. So, Brooklyn. Oh, okay. I didn't see the second part. Okay. All right. I got you. Okay. All right. I see the second part. Right. So before I do that, let me first do this. I'm gonna get a little comfortable, man. I'm gonna take this mic off the stand and just get a little comfortable with y'all. You know what I'm saying? When I say comfortable, I mean like comfy. I don't mean like in that sense. Y'all know what I mean. I'm I'm gonna just grab the microphone and rock with it for a little bit, right? So the Mitchell Robinson conversation is one that when we have it, I feel like we always have it with malice. And I think we got to relax. Because at the end of the day, whether you like Mitch or dislike Mitch, he's a Knick, right? And whether you like what he does or dislike what he does, he's a Knick. Same thing. The same thing applies to other Knicks, right? Whether you like how they do it or dislike how they do it, they're Knicks right now for the moment. In my mind, Mitchell Robinson is going to play a crucial part in the Knicks winning a championship. The Knicks cannot win a championship without Mitchell Robinson. I just want people to understand that, right? I want everybody, because I know there are people that like Mitch, there are people that dislike Mitch, and I don't care. I'm going to talk basketball, right? I'm going to talk basketball, right? When at the end of the day, when the season is over and you want to talk about preferences, whether you like peanut butter or jelly, I don't care because I have my own preferences. But in terms of the Knicks advancing in the playoffs, we need Mitchell Robinson desperately, right? Desperately, we need Mitch, right? And not in a sense that he's going to be a star, because we don't need another star. A solar system, for the most part, can only have one star, for the most part, for what we know, right? Our star is Jalen Brunson. But if we're talking about contributors, if we're talking about others in that solar system, I said universe, I meant to say solar system. I'm sorry, y'all. A solar system can only have one star for the most part, not universe. Not universe, a solar system. I'm sorry, everybody. I misspoke. Maybe it's the drink that has me speaking out of turn. Right. And I was gonna ask Corey Lee if he can join me up here to talk about Mitch, but I already know what he's gonna say. Corey Lee is gonna decline because he's gonna be like, man, I don't have nothing to say about Mitch and all that stuff. So I'm gonna just rock by myself for a little bit. I'll put the link in the chat, but he probably ain't gonna. Let me do this real quick before I start in earnest about Mitch. So the Knicks cannot win a championship without Mitchell Robinson for a number of reasons. And I jotted them down. Right? So the most important thing with Mitch is Mitchell Robinson is a deterrent, right? Defensively, Mitchell Robinson is a deterrent. Your defense can't be effective. Corey Lee in the place to be. Went to St. John's University.
Good of my brother. What's up? What's the overtime and the hardest working man? Yo, you are no longer the Chief Rocker. You the James Brown of YouTube. The hardest working man.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying. Where's his cake?
Yeah, man. Maceo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
I got you.
Yeah, man.
All we just need to do is get you a perm, you know what I'm saying, a perm wig, yo. You in the door.
Yeah, so I can look like Betty.
You don't know.
Right. So just want to thank you and some others for help cleaning up the channel and helping us go in a direction where at some point in May, I think we might cross 9,000 subscribers. And without you and Ala Wise and DSJ and others.
Yo,
I don't know if we can get here. I don't know if we could have gotten here is a better way to say it. So,
yo, man, I stand on the shoulders of giants, and I'm a small task for a New York Giant.
right.
You know,
right.
anything to help out will help me. So, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So the let me say this. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed. And if you're watching us for the first time, I'm gonna get to the point, right? I'm gonna get to the point, but I have to start every show with telling everybody that I appreciate them for choosing us over the other options. Because I really appreciate the fact that people choose Lawrence Tears over other options. Like right now, you're watching, you chose to watch us instead of watching something else. And I appreciate that.
And what they say, I'm sorry, Freeze. I just want to say one thing. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with my man right now.
Right. Yeah. So thank y'all for that. I really sincerely and genuinely appreciate the fact that y'all coming here and contributing, talking in the chat, y'all in the chat, chopping it up, man, bringing up topics, man, and all that stuff. So yeah, I appreciate that. And y'all showing love, not just with subscriptions, but with views. Like when I look at the views, sometimes I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, yo, can you believe 4,000 people watched this one show where me and Corey Lee was arguing? That's crazy. Lee, legit, the other day, we had a show that had 4,000 views on it, bro.
I mean, know what that means? Number one, you have grown, the content has grown, the contributors have grown, and we're getting to where we need to be. Conversation has gotten a lot better. Not to say it was bad before, because like you said, it was Jerry Springer, and now we're more like into, Oprah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I appreciate y'all, and we're gonna get to the content, y'all. We're gonna get to the content, but just wanted to let y'all know how much we appreciate y'all. And if y'all watching for the first time, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Join us while we at 8,000. What are we at? 7,000, 8,000 subscribers now.
You said 8,600 last night.
Yeah, hey man. So if y'all watching, I'm just begging y'all, man, hit the subscribe button, please, please, please. Hit that subscribe button, man. Join the family. So okay, so Lee, let's talk about Mitchell Robinson. So there are about 6 or 7 reasons why I think Mitchell Robinson helps the Knicks win the championship, and it starts with Game 3 tonight.
Most definitely.
Right. Number one out of everything is Mitchell Robinson brings a level of deterrent that you can't get when he's not on the floor with the Knicks.
Agreed.
Yep. That's number one. And the deterrent I'm talking about is offensively, you can't just fly defenders at Brunson and Bridges because Mitch is out there screening hard body, putting them hips on shoulders and slowing people down from, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like you legit have to play physical against us, because if not, we'll wear you down. The second part of that is offensively, when we miss a shot, and every team misses shots. So I'm not tripping everybody. I'm not tripping over us missing shot. Every team misses shots. When we miss shots, his physicality on the offensive boards is something that you have to account for with 2 or 3 people, right? You legit can't put one person on Mitch and think that you'll win. You're not going to win consistently putting one body on Mitch Robinson.
At all.
So what does that do? That extends possessions.
Yep.
Defensively, the square footage that Mitchell Robinson covers in the half court is something to have to be accounted for, because you don't know how much of a deterrent he is until the game starts. You can watch as much film as you want, But until you see a 7-foot alien covering all that ground and all these angles, you don't know what it's like until you get in there. It's like flying on the airplane for the first time. You see it taking off and landing and all that stuff, but until you get on there, you have no idea what it's like.
For sure.
Yeah, man. So what do you think in terms of Mitchell Robinson on the floor? What do you think?
He's an X factor without having to demand the ball as much as say somebody else may need. For example, like for what they consider the X factor, Beasley in Detroit.
Right.
His dominance is shooting the outside shot and knocking down a three from, and also creating space and opening up space for Cade to get inside and do what he does best.
Right.
Now with Mitchell Robinson, he's an X factor on the first part as far as on the defensive end, and on the second part on the offensive end to a degree where if you're not putting two people on him to box him out, and sometimes that's not even good enough for him when he grabs the offensive rebound. And if he does not have a clear shot at the basket, then he's going to throw it out to the corners or back up to the top of the key, which the defense has collapsed on him because he has the ball. Now he fires it back out for open 3-point shots. And especially the corners where, we're pretty good as far as shooting the three from the corners.
Yo, Miguel P, thank you for the generous contribution. Miguel P says, when we got scraped by Boston, Cleveland, and OKC, Tibbs said we were missing our starting center all season. Mitch playing limited minutes is crazy work. Agreed. Miguel P, truer words have not been said in a very long time.
And to some degree, that was our Achilles heel in the beginning of the season, was the interior defense to some degree. But now we can see the difference, and especially where we rated now as far as defense on the court. Now I embellished a lot in the beginning of the year about what his capabilities are and who he is to the Knicks, and that was just my opinion, and maybe my enthusiasm, because I am a tremendous Mitchell Robinson fan because he's the longest tenured Knick, and he's been through a lot.
Right.
He's been through a lot, considering it personally and on the court and career wise.
Right.
Now the growth of that young man has been tremendous since he's been here. 7 seasons now.
Right.
And that's phenomenal. For us to even have a player that's been on this team for 7 seasons, you got to tip your cap off to that, because of the turnovers we've had and the so-called regime changes and so-called this and so-called that. So that's another reason why I'm a tremendous fan of his.
Okay.
The effort that he puts on the court, regardless of whether he gets 5 to 2 touches a game, meaning like he's put in a position to score, is irrelevant because his effort still remains the same. It's always at 110.
Right.
To some degree.
Okay.
You got what's that?
No, I feel you.
No, I'm hearing you got something going on in the background.
Yeah, I'm screwing my mic in.
Okay.
I'm putting it back on us. It sound like I'm washing dishes or something.
It's not like you scraping some wood.
And the chicken tastes like wood. Nah, I got you. So yeah, I had to screw the mic stand back in so I can multitask while we chop it up about Mitch. One of the things that Miguel P mentioned in his super chat is that we talked about Mitch not being here, and then once we got Mitch back, we don't even play him. That's the gist of it. Tom Thibodeau said we struggling because our starting center is not here. Then the starting center come back and he doesn't even start.
I'm still scratching my head about that one, but I don't know. Last night we got into a debate over Tom Thibodeau and the way he does things, and I think he's a creature of habit, and his habits start at the beginning of the year. And once he gets into a certain groove, he doesn't like to try to deter from it because I guess his MO. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's for most of his career as the Knicks head coach, it's been a positive, but to some degree, to a detail, it's been a detriment because it'll hurt us. It's hurt us, especially when we've lacked certain players and certain things in a situation. You know,
Right.
like I'm trying to explain it so it can be clear. Like it's helped us because it's kept us steady, but situational wise, sometimes it kills us. Basically, that's in a nutshell.
Okay.
But with that said, though, I feel like and feel like this young man, if we employ him the right way,
okay,
we can get to what we want to achieve defensively, and that part, and also offensively. If we pick our heads up and just look a little bit more and put them in easier situations to score, it can help us and put points too as well.
Okay. Okay. The Mitch thing is perplexing in a sense that I don't know if it's just a Tom Thibodeau thing. Right? Like I don't know if it's just Tibbs or if it's really injury level stuff that is keeping Mitch out. Right? Is it he can't go, or is it that Tibbs don't want to play him a certain number of minutes?
I don't. We're so cryptic and stealth in the way we do our business that we'll never know until maybe at the end of the year, when the front office or maybe even the head coach will be forthright and will be transparent. But what we do know though is for as many minutes, for the allotted minutes that we do have him on the court, we have to make the most of it. That's for sure.
Right. Okay. So the reason why I ask is because there are levels to a lot of things, right? And to assume the basement makes up the house is wrong. We can't think like that. Like we can't think like the things on the surface are the things that comprise everything. Right? I don't want to assume any of these things. What I would like to assume though is that man's heart is in playing basketball at a high level for the Knicks. You feel me?
Oh, no doubt. And it's
Like
proven
when
though.
that man is on the floor, he is playing his heart out. Right? That's what I want to assume. Right? And I think it's fair to assume that.
Well, I think it's evident to assume that.
Right.
You see it.
Right.
I mean, as much as he used to complain about touches and scoring, you haven't heard a peep of that about that because his whole goal is playing his role right now.
Team basketball.
Team basketball and getting us to beyond the next levels of for which we've reached in the past few seasons.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I man, listen, I'm not even gonna front, bro. I ain't even gonna front. The kid dude does me so proud every time I see his stuff on social media. I'm a fan of Mitchell Robinson, the person. If Mitch doesn't play, and I don't want this to happen, I'm just saying in general, if Mitchell Robinson doesn't play another minute of NBA basketball, he has a fan for life in me. Right? Because I can see the stuff on the outside. Like I could kind of, from a distance, I can see the type of person he is. And to me, that's impressive coming from what he was when he arrived.
From his meager starts to where he is now, yes. And you can see the genuine human being in him.
Right.
And the humbleness for the most part as a person.
Right.
Besides the toys that we all, which, he's earned in his life, he still lives a humble lifestyle. And you know what's even more telling? Last season on how when his high school coach, this man whose wife passed away, and he found out, and he brought him in his home with his family,
right,
and told him, you come stay with me to make sure that man's mental health and personal life was all intact.
Right.
I was fortunate enough to coach some kids in my life, and they went on to decent prominence. Some of them went professional, some of them did well.
Right.
But the fact that he doesn't owe that man anything, owe him nothing, and the fact that he still thought beyond himself and thought about that man's and opened his door to him speaks volumes as a human being.
Right. Right. Bro, that's why that's why I was saying, if that man doesn't do anything else in his NBA career, I'm a fan of Mitchell Robinson forever. Right. And so what does that mean ultimately to Mitch? It probably means nothing. He might not even know who I am. I think he does, but he might not. Right. He might not. Right. But what I will tell you is this: as a fan, you get to see the start of the blossoming of something from the very beginning of something. Like we should have saw it with Kevin Knox. We should have saw it with Frank Ntilikina. We should have saw it with other players we drafted. We didn't, right? But here's the thing, right? We're seeing it with Mitch, right? Like we're legit seeing it play out with Mitch. Mitch is a valuable NBA player. And so some of the things that we're seeing with Mitch, I understand we should have saw it with other players, but we didn't. Right now, that doesn't matter, right? Because now we have Mitch here for the short term and possibly the long term. And I honestly believe that man is going to help contribute to a championship, not by being a good person, right? But for what he provides on the floor, right? About what he provides on the floor. And so, and you know how I am, you know how critical I am of people stepping their game up, right? And Yeah, you know how I am with, man, you got the opportunity, you got to take advantage. You know how I am, right?
The brass ring's right there. You need to go grab it.
Right. Y'all already know how I am about getting better. Getting better. I say it on this channel a lot.
Growth.
I'm freezing. No, I'm good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just turn this camera off. I'm gonna just turn the camera off because so the thing with Mitch today in Detroit, game 3, I think his screening, rebounding, and defense is gonna be part and parcel the reason why we win the game. I could see Mitchell Robinson with a 8.8 rebound performance, maybe 2 blocks and a steal, right? And while those sound like meager numbers, bro, when you're only playing 18 minutes, I mean, geez, you know what I'm saying? If you double those minutes, that's 16 and 16 with 4 blocks. You
and
feel
2
me?
steals.
Yeah, you feel me? So yeah, I think Mitch is gonna have
and possibly, hold on a second, Freezy. The one thing
Hey, Lee, let me finish my point, man. Don't.
No, I was going to say a stack of
I understand. Let me finish my point, bro. Like when you was talking, I ain't cut you off.
I apologize.
Yeah, we got to do better at that, man. Remember when somebody talking, bro, you cut them off, they lose. You know what I'm saying? But the point that I was making though is this: I do understand that some impact on the floor can't be measured with numbers, right? I understand that. Some things are intangibles, like the shots he don't block, they won't go in the stat sheet because nobody will test him, right? They won't take that shot. So I understand there's some intangible stuff there too. But I think all of that rolled into one, the stuff that he does do that goes on the stat sheet, the impact defensively, the rebounding against a team that wants to be physical, I think is the reason why we not only win, but I don't think Detroit might not get another win in this series.
Okay. And I totally, it's possible. And I really want to wholeheartedly say I agree. They're possible. The possibility is there. The one thing I was trying to say to you is, you forget this man is capable of giving you 2-3 assists too as well from that offensive rebounding. So I mean, wow. When I think about him, is just so much stuff floods my brain. It's hard to put it all into a concise or clear narration. But I will say that his presence on the court is immense, and I pray that if he's not fully healthy, that he still can contribute the way that I believe he's capable of doing. I mean, even in that series last year against Embiid, as well as Hartenstein played, it was those few minutes that he gave us. Not to say he held Embiid in check, but he made it hard for him to do those things. And the moment that he was off the court, you understood how Embiid could take over a game. And he showed you when he dropped that 50 points on us. Mitchell Robinson, he's like that middle reliever that you need to have, to get over those 2-3 innings until you can get to the closer. He can steady the ship and hold us down and contribute little things, give major strikeouts or major, outs, and hold a lead, help hold a lead until that closer comes in, which is 9 times out of 10, Jalen Brunson.
Okay. I'm having a problem following, right? Not that what you're saying isn't making sense, but I mean in terms of how is he going to impact like in the place of Jalen Brunson?
No, I'm not saying he's going to impact in place of Jalen Brunson, but like, okay, for those times that, Cat's not on the court, or OG or even Josh Hart, those little, like you said, those attributes or intangibles or those little things that matter, starting or causing a turnover or helping getting a help needed stop, which are very important, because I promise you, anytime we get 3 stops in a row, that can swing a game's momentum tremendously. I've been waiting to find that in the series. Well, no, we had it in game 1, but I mean, like, consistently, we can consistently in a game get 3 stops in a row, and say like the third and fourth quarter where they matter the most.
Okay,
that'll change the tide and the momentum of the game. And usually, when we get on top of a team, we usually put them away.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. Mitchell Robinson will have an impact. The part that I mentioned, that one part, the impact on the floor, like the just the what he does best, so to speak. But I do think there are a few things too to go along with, like when say a certain player is in a slump, right? Like say when Mikal Bridges' shot is not going, OG Anunoby's shot is not going, and I don't mean long term. I'm talking about in game, right? Everybody listen, I'm talking about in game. I'm not saying that these guys are bad players. Say a player misses 3, 4, 5 shots in a row. That sounds crazy, but it happens, right? You have to have somebody there that's going to be like that stand-in, that person in the gap, right? That person in the gap that's going to be able to grab a rebound and put it back, or get out on a fast break and slam dunk, or knock down an unexpected 3, or carry some kind of weight while the normal weight carriers are struggling, right? And I think Mitchell Robinson is going to provide that tonight, right? I think that's what we're getting out of Mitch to going forward, right? I don't believe there's a world where we're going to see Mitchell Robinson knock down 3s, but just by Mitch grabbing offensive rebounds and going back up strong, getting Detroit in foul trouble in a series where Detroit is already down a big man is key. Isaiah Stewart is out. Their backup bigs are Tobias Harris and Paul Reed. Both of those dudes are 6'8". Lee, if your guy can't dominate Tobias Harris and Paul Reed, all the stuff that we talked about is for naught.
Agreed. And I'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first one. And I'll be the first one up here to tell you that. Because, I mean, as much as expectations are put out there, and my expectations for him are beyond the roof. Sometimes I got to tame myself. But
yeah, sometimes you got to tame yourself. Yes.
I got to, sometimes you got to tame yourself.
Yeah.
But also too, and put some perspective on it.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective, you know, and keeping yourself grounded and understanding that these people are still human. But with that said, though, because he has that much talent, I expect him to, to those things that he does the best. I expect those though, grabbing boards and playing at least decent defense, especially at some major stretches like, you know, the coming into the end of the first, going into the second, helping close out the third, and even, you know, coming in depending on game situation in the fourth.
Okay.
So, you know, when he's out there, I expect him to try to grab as many rebounds as possible,
As usual. Yeah.
you know, but also to looking at because you got to look at the battlefield as well and how are they attacking him, because they know he's a major part of what we do. So we have
Salute, my guy Ribs is in the building. Salute, Ribs.
So we also have to keep that in mind as well.
I think Mitchell Robinson gonna come out there and play like a man with his hair on fire.
I mean, I hope he does. I hope he does, because he's seen his potential in the last game, and he played pretty solid considering for the few minutes that he did play. He played really, really good in those little. I mean, what did he grab, like 8 rebounds? Even though he didn't put any points, he got 8 rebounds. I think a block, maybe an assist or 2.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think he's gonna come out and play like a man with his hair on fire and give you everything that he's got within those 18 minutes Tom Thibodeau is gonna give him. Here's my thing though with those 18 minutes. We have to have some Cat and Mitchell Robinson crossover. Those 18 minutes have to overlap with Cat. Right.
Oh, I believe they will too.
Yeah, bro.
I was saying, no, I was agreeing with you. I believe they will, though. And Tom Thibodeau has seen how it's helped us in some certain stretches. It's made it, you know, it can make things a lot easier for Cat, where, you know, listen, if Cat's out there and then Duran has to check Mitchell Robinson. And that means Tobias Harris is out there on the island with Cat. And there's no way on God's green earth Tobias Harris should be able to check Cat one-on-one with Mitch on the floor. Now, as long as they space themselves and doesn't get in each other's way, we should be able to dominate those 4 to 5 minutes out of those 18, maybe 10, 8 minutes out of those 18 minutes that I believe they'll be on the court together with each other.
Right. 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 Okay. Yeah. I agree. I'm with you. I think though the minutes have to overlap. But Mitchell Robinson has to come out and play like a man possessed in those 18 minutes. There is no, bro, from here on out, Mitchell Robinson, there is no conservation of energy, period. Right? There is no conservation of energy. Right? There is no concept. You got to give us everything you have going forward. Leon, I'm multitasking, bro. I'm sorry. I'm multitasking.
It's all good.
But here's the thing, though. Lee. Also, not only does he have to play like that, the Knicks also have to play desperate, like they have nothing to lose. See, the key, and I'm sorry for being distracted, is because I'm working on a secret project, everybody. I think I'm gonna have something fire for y'all today. I think y'all gonna like it. Right? Everybody has to play desperate, like they have nothing to lose. Right? Everyone has to be in that mode There can't be any conservation. We have to come out desperate. And I think the fan base, our fan base, confuses lack of desperation with subtle or supple, right? Like the team is not, I personally don't believe this team is playing like it's desperate, like with nothing to lose. What you think, Lee?
Agreed. I don't think this, I think the first 2 games we coasted. We didn't turn it on. We didn't turn it on. It's like we put ourselves into positions for desperation. It's like we don't. I want to say we're like drama queens. It doesn't matter until we feel threatened, and then that's when we feel like we want to fight the hardest, and work harder, and make it look so. Look how we overachieved this because these people are not going to lay down. Detroit has professionals. They have a lot of cash on 1-year contracts, just like us. People fighting for their NBA lives, just like we do. But if we are the better team, which on paper and mathematically, then we need to put that in our brains and put that into action and make that happen, like right now, pronto.
Right. Okay. Let me do this real quickly. I'm gonna throw a rock in your shoe just because I need a few minutes to type something up. Right.
Go ahead, man. I'm ready for it.
All right. How does Mitchell Robinson on the court impact team chemistry and team morale? So y'all see how Kate just came up with a question off the top of the dome?
How does his? You gotta think. Number one, even though he's not the captain, he's the old man out there. But I mean, he's been here the longest. He's been dealing with the franchise the longest. He knows the ins and outs of everybody from the janitor who sweeps the floor to the guy who plays the organ, Madison Square Garden. I think he's more than well liked. He's a guy who gets along with everybody. I think he has enough charisma and power to help unify people, and he's a bridge amongst other people. Especially the rookies and younger guys, because he knows how it feels to have been the youngest guy on this team to now one of the older people, and also the fact that he's a consummate professional.
Okay. Bro, I like how you said that just now. I like how you said that. I'm gonna say something different though. I'm gonna say his impact on the team goes beyond locker room stuff. I'm gonna say when you see Mitchell Robinson wrestling with 3 grown professional athletes, right? And you see him reach up in the air like a pterodactyl and throw that thing back through the rim for the offensive rebound putback jam, that get everybody on the floor hyped up, bro. Right? It gets everybody hype. Like if you see OG Anunoby shoot a jumper and it come off in that long rebound and Mitch got somebody tugging his jersey and he used the other arm, bam, and throw that thing back, bro, we run back down the court with air in our chest, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He had well the first one.
Lee will not let me talk tonight, y'all. See,
my fault, bro.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No,
you got it now.
No, because when you brought that up, I think of two. He had first the one he had with the one arm was dope, was crazy. But the last one they called off because I think somebody got fouled. When he caught it with two hands and he climbed over somebody's back to go get that, and they called it off, I was like, wow, it better be a foul. Because if it wasn't, I was gonna be upset. Because I was like, they stole one from the boy. Excuse me, from the young man. They stole one from him. But but still, you see it's still there. It's just the opportunities have to come, and then also too, you have to create. He has to create his own opportunities as well. And I think the chemistry of him and Cat being on the court together is coming along a lot more quicker than what I thought it would have taken. Especially in the short span of time. So, and just think, when they're on the court together, that's going to create a lot of opportunities for him as well as Cat. We just got to employ it right, and also too, find ways to, the Cat has to find ways to make sure that he keeps everyone happy, especially him on the court, if possible and when possible.
I think Mitchell Robinson brings a level of dexterity to a lineup that's normally supple, squishy, right? I think Mitchell Robinson brings a level of pliability, or I'm sorry, not pliability, but a level of perm starch to a lineup that's normally pliable, flexible. Basically, what I'm saying is, in no uncertain terms, is Mitchell Robinson, his presence, just how he plays, he brings a level of toughness to a unit that is normally the opposite of tough, right? I don't know if we have. Now, mind you, no team has ever won a championship with 10 tough guys. You don't win a championship like that. But there always has to be a level of not letting people cross the line. Right? Not letting people cross the line. Like, Lee, I'll give you an example. And I don't know if I told y'all this, but I was a very bad boxer for a very long time. I think my overall record was like 80-20. Like an amateur record. My amateur record was like 80-20. Right? So on the surface, that might seem, man, you won 80 times. But the greats usually go undefeated. Like the dudes that y'all be saying, the Deontay Wilder types, they don't have that many amateur losses. Right? And so the reason why I think I took all those L's is because I abided by the rules of the game, the rules of engagement. Right? They would headbutt me. I'd tell the ref, he headbutting me, man. You ain't gonna do nothing. Right? They'll be trying to they'll grab and tug and hold me and try to pull my groin guard down and all these little tricks. Lee, like, you remember when you used to tackle somebody, you be in a huddle and dudes be trying to stick their fingers inside your face mask? Remember that?
Oh my God. Yes, I do.
You remember like the subtleties like that?
Mm-hmm.
And
step on your ankle with the cleats.
Yeah, man. Step on your hands, your fingers.
Oh my God. Yep.
Yeah. And so there was a level of I think there's a level of that we don't have, and I'm not saying that we're fragile. I'm saying that Mitchell Robinson brings some level of about it that we need, right? But I think this team is built on not being about it and built on playing the game the right way and letting skill beat will. Like let your skill win games over your will to win games.
Agree. Agree.
Jerry says, how many of those 20 losses were the Celtics? I don't know, man. It may have been all 20, bro. It might have been all 20, bro, to be honest with you. And so I still feel the effects of some of that stuff today in my 50s, bro. I'm still feeling like my elbows hurting, stuff like just little stuff like that men shouldn't be dealing with, right? But also the thing with Mitch, one of the things that I wanted to talk about with Mitchell Robinson is not only his impact in game on stuff like, bro, put back dunks, even though they're only 2 points, they mean something, bro. Offensive rebounds, when a defense defends for 24 seconds, right? A defense defends for 24 seconds and the shot goes up and we get the rebound and they got to defend for another 14 seconds. That means something, bro. And don't let it be back-to-back offensive rebounds, right? They got to stay on the floor, the whole one side of the floor for like 45 seconds. That's crazy. All of that because of Mitch.
Right.
The thought of it, Mitchell Robinson.
And also too, you know, there's one thing about Mitchell Robinson. He's not too much of a trash talker. He puts his head down and he lets his hard work talk his trash. And also too, he doesn't get unnerved. You know,
Right.
he doesn't get caught up in for all that crap talking like Isaiah Stewart does, or even with his antics, or just any of them trying, or that what you call it, slide of hand BS. You know, he fights through that. He doesn't sit down there and be like, Rev, look what like you just said about the whole boxing situation. He doesn't. He fights right through that, and that speaks volume in itself. It's like having a armor, like having a coat of armor over your heart. Like you can't be pierced, you can't be stopped. It's like I don't care what you do or what you say. I'm still gonna do what I got to do regardless.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Bro, I think Mitch brings that level of things to the floor. Not to mention the exciting plays, the putback dunks, the offensive rebounds. Now, do I wish we could get more alley-oops in our offense? Probably. But I think part of that is Mitchell Robinson. I think that's Mitch. I think we probably take the quiet boy thing too far. Like, should Cat demand the ball more? Should he make a stink about not getting the ball? Probably. Should Mitch do it? Yes.
Of course.
How you gonna go down and try to rebound against 3 people, right? Come down, they only let you touch it in a dribble handoff, and Cameron Payne come down and shoot a 31-foot 3. Cameron is my guy, y'all. Cameron Payne is my guy, but I'm saying, just think about this. If you Mitchell Robinson, you fight 3 people for an offensive rebound, you get the rebound, you kick it out to Landry Shamet, and Landry Shamet take a contested 30-foot 3 and miss. You don't even let Mitch touch it again.
You know what I thought about when you just said that, bro? It's like you out there, your offensive lineman, you the run block for 8 straight plays, and the running back runs down and scores. He gets the notoriety for scoring, but all you get are the bruises.
Yeah, and the holding penalty, the whole universe holding number 69 offense, and you're like, oh, hey, it's like, bro, it's like 4th and 1, and the O line bulldoze the defensive line for those 9 inches that you need in order to score, and then the running back get in the end zone and don't even let a lineman spike it. Can you at least give it to the lineman so they can spike it? Nah, he doing his touchdown celly, like he rocking the football, rocking the baby or whatever, and the lineman did all it. So it's like that. That's what I'm saying. Am I blaming Tibbs for that? Nah. Am I blaming Brunson for that? Nah. What I'm saying is man, we gotta get touches, bro. Right? We gotta let our guys we gotta let Mitch touch the basketball, bro. Let that man shoot it. What's the worst that can happen, bro?
A foul.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing, because I mean, I think, the shot ain't changed to say his touch has changed. As far as like his the construction of how he shoots foul shots. But he still he stepped up and be able to knock down a few. And I think he's more than capable.
Right. Hey man, this is crazy. So my guy, while I was talking to you, my guy hit me up behind the scenes. So I can announce it now. I put the joint out there on YouTube. So I put the joint out there on YouTube. I got to make one change real quick for everybody. So everybody, Lawrence Tears is going to be interviewing NBA legend Kenny Anderson tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. So,
man, God bless you.
So that's one central. What time is on the East Coast? What time is 1 Central? Is that 2? Is that 2?
Yeah. No. What? That you got to think it's an hour behind.
So it's a they're hour behind. So that's 2 o'clock. So that's 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tomorrow at 2 o'clock, Lawrence Tears will be interviewing Kenny Anderson, NBA legend.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So we're gonna be. That's what I kind of been working on behind the scenes, man. So we're gonna have the intent is to talk about the way that the point guard position is played, leadership, stardom, what it's like in being a young star in New York, talking about fulfilling potential, things of that sort, man. So yeah, I just chatted with him a minute ago, Lee. So that's why if it seemed like,
bro, you good with me? You good with
man.
me?
So I got the thumbnail.
What? You talk about somebody from my borough, somebody I grew up worshiping, watching. You talking about Archbishop Malloy's hands down greatest player to ever play the game. You know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, I've seen some great basketball players that come out of my side of the borough. Out of my side of the city. I'm gonna say this. Outside of Lloyd Daniels, which most people don't even know.
Yeah, I know who Lloyd Daniels is.
And I'm gonna say another name, Lamar Odom. He is
Who?
the all greatest, best basketball player that ever came out of Queens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had him listed as Kenny Anderson and Ron Artest, but the other people good too, though.
Hey, it's all good. They from the same area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we gonna so with that interview with Kenny Anderson, man, my intent is to definitely talk about the evolution of the point guard position, court vision, and playing for Hall of Fame level coaches, and not just being coached by them, but the life lessons that they taught. So that's the lane I'm gonna be in tomorrow, because tomorrow's gonna be a busy day. It's gonna be the interview with um the interview with me and Kenny Anderson. That's a must watch, right? And then the NFL draft is tomorrow. The Knicks play who do the Knicks play tomorrow? Detroit, yeah. The Knicks play Detroit tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So we got a bunch of that stuff going on, or I guess it's today. And so I'm just gonna need the Lawrence Tears family, man, to kind of be be ready for a super busy day, because we have to do that, and then we have to do the game preview, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got to do the game recap, right? And all the events of the day. So it's gonna be a super busy day. So wise if you still dialed in, man. We got to ring the alarm to let everybody know that it's going to be busy. And shout out to Wise for keeping it under his cap, because I think I told Wise maybe Friday or Saturday. I think I told him Friday or Saturday about it, but I didn't want to tell everybody because I didn't want it to leak. And so yeah, so I trusted that man back then, and he sure enough didn't tell nobody. So yeah. So salute to my guy Wise for keeping that under his cap. So yeah, man. So we trying to work on Lee. We working on some stuff, bro.
You already have the thumbnail for that?
Yeah, it's already out there.
Oh, cool. Cause as soon as I get it, you already know I'm sending it around the world.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I know. I
I'm sending it around the world.
I'm hoping that this will get us to hoping that interview will get us to
our goal.
Yeah, I was gonna say more than that.
Hey, our goal plus some, but they'll get us, just help us get us to our goal, and then from that on, sky's the limit, because that right there, that young man will bring us more and more. That's just a thread that'll just bring more and more legends to us. Because I'm pretty sure he dialed into everybody.
Right. Yeah, man. So salute to Kenny, man, and thank you in advance if you're watching. Have always been a fan, but want to talk like some grown man life lessons type stuff, and also some fanboy stuff. So yeah, man.
And if y'all get a chance, check out his documentary, Mr. Chibbs.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, is it on YouTube?
Possibly.
I'm gonna see. So I'm gonna ask you a question, and then I'm gonna look for it on YouTube so I can put it in the description.
Mm-hmm.
How much does opposing teams underestimate Mitchell Robinson?
I think they don't. I think, especially before he if he's healthy, they definitely don't. But because they know that he makes New York a no-fly zone. You're not getting too many. I've not seen so many times that Mitchell Robinson's ever been dunked on, except for his earlier years when he was like maybe 215. Nowadays, nah. He's an intimidator. is not as much of a shot blocker, but he's more of an intimidator. They know that they have to send 2 and 3 people at him on the offensive glass as well as the defensive glass. They know that if you don't have your head on the swivel and you come around and JB comes around, especially on that dominant left side of his, that you might get yourself KO'd.
Yeah.
You know, get yourself KO'd. Because it's like running into a brick wall. And
right.
And also too, and just the fact that how he covers the floor, he covers the half court so well. It's phenomenal. And not only that, also too, he's a great person to help out the perimeter defense. Because now he takes time off that shot clock, and these people have to readjust their shot because they're not going to get a normal look like they would if they were checking somebody, say, of their size or lesser.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. That's all we got.
I mean, that's all that comes to my head right now. Sometimes when I stop talking and I think, and you may say something to spark something else. That's why, unfortunately, I interrupt you because I'm like, oh man, I forgot to say this, and then then the conversation drifts to somewhere else. So then I can't go back.
Okay. Well, tell you what. Now I feel you. Right. I'm gonna say I think Mitch is going to be an X factor, but I think it's going to be a cascading effect, a domino effect. Like if Mitchell Robinson impresses himself makes a footprint, a blueprint on the game tomorrow, I think it also opens up everything for everybody else. I think ESPN at the moment has us favored to win this game by 1 point. I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna double check just to see. I usually don't check ESPN, Lee, but in this case, I'm gonna see what ESPN says. So ESPN has today's the 24th, right?
Yes, sir.
Today's the 24th. So ESPN has the Knicks favored to win. Yeah. So yeah, Isaiah Stewart is a game time decision for game 3.
I'm not worried about him. I kind of look forward for him to be out there because that means that if he's out there, that means to get him off the court, and that changes their game plan. And without him on the court, then they can game plan without him. It throws our game plan off. Regardless, we're going to do what we're supposed to do regardless. Right. And it's easy because that man is such, how do you say it, one-track minded, because what he lacks in talent, he tries to make up in thuggery.
He can't help it, bro. He's from Queens.
Well, whatever, if you say so. But
I'm just going by what the people from Queens say. They say they get the money, bro.
We get money, but listen, we do it a whole different way. We do it a whole different way.
Okay, I'm just saying, bro. All right.
But with that said, what that said about his thuggery, that's to his detriment and not ours. I think the league has quote unquote opened their eyes up to the disparaging free throw situation. I think they're gonna find themselves blowing the whistle quite frequently in our favor tomorrow. And as long as we don't come out slew foot and playing with our food like we have been.
Yo, you remember that you remember the stories that they used to do? You remember Slewfoot Sue? Remember that?
Yep.
When you said that, that just bounced in my mind, bro. I ain't gonna front. And Calamity Jane.
Yep. But but what the if we don't come out there like that, then I feel like, I think we're gonna see a dominant performance from not just Mitch, but also the entire team. And that's my expectations. Because maybe, every once in a while, like they said, you need to get punched in the mouth to probably get woken up. And understand that this is reality.
Right.
And like I said, people's jobs are on the line right now. This is the time of year where it's sink or swim. Your job is on the line.
If we lose tomorrow, is the Knicks fan base gonna panic?
Man, they already pulling the pin right now. Cats are on suicide watch right now. Pause.
Right.
You got the pessimistic fans right now. The hindsight know-it-alls now.
Right.
Everybody is out there right now, but that's not going to happen. Not in my mind.
Okay.
And I don't think in the Knicks, in all 15 of those players, because now they felt the reality of a loss.
Right.
And not even a loss, a game that I think really was stolen from them. And they allowed, you allowed yourself, you set yourself up for that. But I'm one, taking care of the basketball, and two, not executing and getting into our plays fast enough. I think the captain, as well as the rest of the starting five and the bench players that are possible to play, really understand the severity of this particular situation, because we cannot go, regardless, down one or even tied, back home. I pray that we go back home, we knock them out in their city, and then go back to the house and pack them up and send them back to Detroit, so they can have their conies, and sip on their Schlitz and be cool.
Yeah. Man.
Go fishing on Lake Michigan.
Okay. I'm not panicked about Game 3, bro. So Franks, hit me out on this. So Derek, hit me out on this, right? I have a complex mood. Like, I'm not moody, but it's like champagne, right? Like, if you're a champagne drinker, right, like some champagnes just taste like off the shelf wine with bubbles in it, carbonated wine, right? And then like other champagnes, like anything from 2015. For some reason, that 2015 season or whatever, like any champagne bottle you see with like 2015 on it, you're like, yeah, let me get that. Right? It's like, Lee, you remember the cigar year 2016, the 2016 cigar year? Like, no, I'm sorry. The cigars came out in 2016. You remember the 2015? So the 2015 grow year for tobacco, for some reason, right, was just crazy, right? The cigars for 2016 were like, they were just like smoother. They hit you like they hit that rush. That rush would hit you, but it wouldn't knock you out. You're like, wait a minute. It's something to it. Like for real, Lee laughing, but yeah, I'm for real. Like,
No,
like
I'm listening.
legit, the 2016 cigars, right? Like at first, people thought it was like the paper. You know what I'm saying? People was like, yo, man, they getting them Connecticut paper. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some like cigar companies was growing like the rappers in Connecticut, right? And people was like, yo, it must be them Connecticut rappers or something. But it was like, nah, it's everywhere. The cigars was just on point that year, right? And so, and even if you bought the same brand, say, I'm gonna just throw out a name, Garcia Vega. Yeah, I know y'all heard of Garcia Vega. It's probably all over everything in New York. You probably can't go nowhere in New York without Garcia Vega, right? So say if you smoke Garcia Vega 20 and 12, 13, 14, and 15, when you bought it in 16, you're like, yo, something is different about, yo, is this something? Like, nah, they did it the same way. It's just better this shit. They ain't did nothing. They ain't changed the recipe. It must be the products. You know what I'm saying? And so basically that's how like my mood is. Like my mood is complex with like undertones, right? Because the thing is, and ultimately, I don't care if the Knicks win game 3 or not, as long as they win game 7. You feel me? Like I legit don't care if they win game 3 as long as they win the series. Right? At the same time, I want to win game 3. Right? Because I don't want to see my team lose ever. Right? So I don't want to see my team lose ever. But in the grand scheme of things, as long as we win this series and come out healthy, mentally and physically healthy, I think I'm okay with that. Right? You feel me? You see how complex like the undertones of things are? Mm-hmm. It's like I got one. Hey, John Smith, do you barbecue? I'm gonna ask John Smith in the chat. John Smith, do you barbecue? Do you legit go outside and barbecue? Chat, anybody in the chat is a cooker? Lee, are you a cooker?
I'm not a cook. I am a barbecue grill master.
Oh hell! Oh jeez. Why you ain't just say something so I wouldn't have to ask Smitty in the chat?
Well, you didn't want me cutting you off either.
Oh well, okay. So okay, true. Okay, duly noted. Duly noted. Lee, you know how like when you cooking outdoors, I don't know nothing about cooking outdoors. I don't do that. Right. But my thing is you know how you use certain seasonings to get like a certain flavor for certain meat?
Oh yes, of course.
Right. And so people that taste them, they don't know what the flavor is. Like they don't know, they just know it tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
But you know the undertones because you know the ingredients, right? What you put in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you did it purposely because you probably did it before and liked it and felt like if you do it again, then other people will like it.
Yep. And it's just the seasoning either. It's the cold. What do you use? You know, I don't use regular. I use Kingsford, but you'll never match like my house. You'll never, I'll use, something like Royal Oak, lump chunk charcoal. I'll use not only that, but instead of wood chips, I'll if I know I'm barbecuing, say the day before, I'll go and I'll get blocks of like I'll go to Home Depot and go get blocks of maybe cherry wood or apple or some kind of hardwood that I know if I'm cooking a particular type of meal, like if I'm smoking fish or if I'm smoking or I'm doing ribs, I'll know beforehand what my plans are, and I take my time, doing what I got to do. I marinate my meat the night before. Usually, I don't use injections. it's all kind of certain things. I use certain seasonings for certain type of meat. You know, I got a particular rub that I make for my chicken, and then I have a you know, a certain type of rub that I use for my beef. You know, it's all about, you know. Sometimes it's like sometimes it's too. Sometimes it looks complex, but it's all about taste and trial and error, basically.
Right. Right. And so, chat, that's our long-winded way. And I'm not saying Lee was long-winded because I asked a very open-ended question, right? But that's our long-winded way of expressing that whether we win or lose tomorrow, as long as we win the series, that's all I really care about. As long as we come out healthy, mentally and physically healthy, right? I want to win game 3 though, because I don't want to. I just don't like seeing my team lose, right? But at the same time, they lose game 3 to Detroit. I don't care as long as the Knicks win game 5, 4, 5, and 6. Long as the Knicks hit CeeLo, I'm straight.
I feel you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of wanna put them away as quick as possible so we can get as much rest for the next series. Because, you know, in spite of you know, if we are playing players that are hurt, which the majority players are hurt, because you're gonna get nicks and bruises all year. You know, so they can rest up, and not only that, but like you said, the mental part of, you know, getting home and spending time with their families, and also doing the things that they like to do outside of basketball. So that way they're not stressed going into the next series is the
Right.
most important part.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, before we wrap up and get out of here, right? Is there anything that you want to add?
Knicks fans, well, number one, please like, subscribe. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Please pass on the word. We're trying to do the right thing over here. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Knicks fans, let's come together and unite and support this team regardless of all our biases. And let's go Knicks.
I'm gonna say one thing real quick before we get out of here also, Lee. Hey everybody, the channel is growing and we want y'all to grow along with us. Right? The channel is growing. We want y'all to grow along with us. And so how we do that is by encouraging you to engage in a reciprocating relationship with us. Help us improve, right? By giving suggestions, things of that sort. Man, listen, you know, we're looking to be one of the big boys here sooner or later. Sooner or later, we're going to be one of the big boys. We don't know when. You know, that's in the hands of the universe of when we'll get there. But we want to head in that direction. And we want y'all to come along for the ride. And we want y'all to, at times, help steer the ship at times. Right? And so we're going to put our best foot forward. And we're going to ask you to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment, share. On that note, we're going to see y'all tomorrow or later on today. Peace, everybody.